Okay, second graders, now that we've finished our dinosaur drawing and added a foreground, middle ground, and background, we're ready to start adding color. Make sure before you start adding color that you've erased any of the inside lines, that you do have one really large dinosaur, land walking dinosaur, and you have a foreground, middle ground, and background in any other details. Now you're ready to start coloring. So what we're going to use to color is Mr. Sketch markers. We are going to use one marker at a time. The first color that I would like you to pick is going to be the color you would like for your dinosaur and the biggest part of your dinosaur. So let's say you really want to have a red eye, but you want a different color for your dinosaur. You wouldn't start with the red eye because that's a small area. If you want your whole dinosaur to be blue, but you want to have pink and green spikes, you would start with the big blue body. What I'm going to use is this yellow color for my dinosaur. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take the cap off my Mr. Sketch. Now the reason why I like Mr. Sketch the best is because it has a nice point. So after I take my cap off, I'm going to put it on the back of my marker so it's like a little hat so I don't lose the cap. And I'm going to use that little point. Now that point is perfect for outlining or tracing. So I'm going to take my Mr. Sketch marker and keeping it up on its point, I'm going to very carefully, doing my best job, to trace the big part of my dinosaur. Now, if you wanted, let's say, your dinosaur to have different color claws for the feet, then don't trace those because those are going to be a different color. Maybe I also want my claws for the hands or the arms to be a different color. So I'm very, very carefully going to trace around my dinosaur. Now, if I go off the line a little bit, that's okay. I can just go back and fix that. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm ready to start coloring. So instead of using that tip, I'm now going to use the flat part of the Mr. Sketch, which is at a diagonal. So what I would like you to do is lay the marker down so that you use the flat part. It's not up on its point, it's laying down. And we're going to color it by actually making lines or stripes. So I'm going to show you how that's done. I'm going to start right at the top and I'm going to go right down to where I traced. And then I move my marker over so that I'm very, very carefully coloring in my dinosaur by just making lines or stripes with the marker. Now, when I get to the eye, or maybe I had polka dots, I don't want that to be yellow. So I'm going to actually trace around that eye so that I don't make a mistake and color it in. And then I can just do little tiny stripes, trying really hard to stay inside the lines. And then I'm going to just keep going. Now, as my dinosaur gets bigger, I'm going to have to pull it all the way down so that it's all going to be colored in. And as you can see, as I get going, I actually am getting better and can get a little bit faster. So not only does this look like I painted it or colored it in very, very neatly, but it actually is a kind of a fast way of coloring with a marker. Okay, so I would make sure to color in the same direction. Now my direction is top to bottom. You may choose a different direction. As you get going, if you miss some white spots, you can always go back and color those in. But I'm coloring them in by making these straight lines. You do not want to color in by going in different directions because it will look like you scribbled. So as you can see, I was using the straight lines, but if I changed and wanted to go quickly and started scribbling and moving my marker in different directions, it's going to look like I scribbled and didn't do my best art. So take your time. You're going to start with one color, just coloring in the dinosaur. Make sure you do not do anything in the foreground, middle ground, or background yet.